Law and Order SVU?
Yeah. No.
He was very good as a lawyer in Law and Order SVU for a number of years, and she's like, I got a little mini crush on him, and he was but he started out as like a Broadway performer. He's back on Broadway.
Yeah. Oh.
So she bought front row tickets in the off chance that he would spit on us because she gets kinky like that.
I sometimes spit on stage on accident. Sometimes it happens.
It was nuts, man. We're right there, front row, and
Wow.
he made direct eye contact with her.
Could you see his makeup?
Yeah, you see everything. He was literally 5 feet from us.
That's crazy.
And he did have a prolonged eye contact, but I had so much so that I turned around and like,
oh no!
Oh, shit. So that's pretty cool.
There might be a squirt of coffee left over there if you want it.
I have a little squirt.
It might be the time.
Yeah, I guess we should probably get started. Maybe we can do like a 50-minute podcast so I can get the car back to Justin. A little squirt.
You can have this cup. This coffee's pretty
Oh, no, that's good.
I like this coffee.
Kicking Horse Coffee got off of Amazon. At least it's not Maxwell House.
Yeah.
Maxwell House is reserved
Not
for.
Maxwell House over there for once.
That's reserved for like clubhouses.
That's Maxwell House is my backup for when I run out.
Oh shit! Let me get the.
PSA. Well, I
PSA.
started recording a second ago, just in case. So.
Oh, you already started recording.
Just a little bit.
Well, let me pull the PSA up.
I'll clap.
I'll talk to you about the comedy shows that we went to. We saw Gary Goldman.
Yes.
At the most Jewish place ever.
What
it was by a Shabbat house, which is like a young person Jewish house in East Village. In Manhattan, and Gary Goldman was trying out new material.
That's so New York. You mentioned that on the phone.
Yeah, it was the most New York thing ever. I felt like I was. It was after I was at the reception after the bar mitzvah. That was the vibes of the crowd.
Yeah,
that's what it felt. It felt like you ever been to a bar mitzvah?
No, have you?
Yeah,
there's a lot more.
So many.
There's a lot more Jewish people in Atlanta than Columbus. Columbus does not have a very big Jewish community. Oh, we sound good. Drew, let me hear you just get a whisper.
Doing a little whisper.
Yeah, we sound so good.
I'm trying to find the PSA.
Drew's trying to find the PSA.
I got a new phone because my other phone.
This is episode 10.
Oh, sweet. Reaching double digits, are we?
Well, we've kind of started.
All right.
We're here. Drew's going to read the PSA. Welcome to episode 10. Drew, welcome to episode 10.
Welcome.
It's exciting.
Everybody.
Double digits, just like Drew said.
I can't find where I saved the PSA, so we'll basically
paraphrase it. Yeah, we've done it
enough
times.
You know what,
Drew?
This is Sober Boys Podcast.
This is it.
And Sober Boys Podcast in no way is truly representative of any opinions expressed by AA as an official thing.
Yeah.
So any opinions expressed here are our own opinions. They do not represent Alcoholics Anonymous or the central office in whatsoever. But we will leave links if you are seeking help in getting to know a recovery program better.
Yeah. And I'll include a speaker tape link in this one this time. Last time I've been lazy the past couple too.
Yeah.
No one's reading the description though. So guys, read the description.
If you read the description, there's some little treats in there.
Yeah, I have so much fun creating.
We'll leave a Joe and Charlie because let's leave a 2 and a 3 Joe and Charlie link too.
Okay, steps 2 and 3.
Yeah,
nice.
Because we're doing We Agnostics today.
Drew.
Hey.
Oh yeah, hold on, wait. These opinions are Drew and Taylor opinions only.
Only. That's the PSA, and we're sticking to it.
Yeah, and that's. Whoa, what is that?
I brought you a gift from New York.
Eyes are closed.
It's pretty cringy, but I thought it was funny. So. Catch. There you go.
Thank you.
They're socks.
Socks. Sober is sexy. These are great.
I bought a pair for myself.
These are great. These are good. I like the colors.
Yeah, I like them too.
Colors.
They're really good socks.
Yeah. They feel comfortable. I like socks. These are good summertime socks because I don't wear a lot of shorts, but I think I'm moving into wearing more shorts. Thank you.
You're welcome.
On the bed they go.
Yeah. It's a little cheesy, but
no, it's good. It's fun.
We'll make it extra cheesy, and you'll wear your socks, and I'll wear our socks for the next recording.
Perfect.
We'll show it to them.
And we'll have camera face just at our feet.
Actually,
we'll have foot cam. Next, we're getting a new camera. It's gonna be foot cam.
And we'll just like switch it at random times.
Yes.
To the foot cam.
It's like a live broadcast of an animal at the zoo.
Anyways,
Toby Keith.
Toby Keith.
Sober
I was gonna say Taylor.
Sober?
What did you do to stay sober? But I've combined it and I did Tober.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
What did I do to stay sober? Man, actually, I've prayed. I golf with my friend Alex.
Nice.
Libby, she's a comedian. I'm not saying anything about her. That's her name. She's funny, and she runs shows in Atlanta.
Check her out.
Yeah, check Alex Libby out. We golfed. It was very fun. And that didn't keep me sober, but it was a good round of golf. It was fun. And recently when I've been golfing, I used to have this thing where I would get to like halfway through, 3/4 of the way through, and I would like a beer would sound really good. Yeah. Just because being outside in the hot sun.
In the hot sun.
I wasn't even breaking rocks in the hot sun.
Yeah.
Because I fought the law.
I was doing that song. How bizarre. You ever heard that song?
No, maybe.
Sorry. Continue.
It's okay. You just made me think of who's the big coats guys?
The big coats guys?
No, the big blazers.
Like Junior Mafia?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The band, the Junior Mafia.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Yo, you're thinking about David Byrne.
Yeah. Talking Heads?
Talking Heads.
Okay, now we've made sense. So golfed. That was good.
Yeah, and you didn't.
But I didn't. Yesterday I golfed with our buddy, multicolored beard man. And
oh, nice.
Yeah. And that was great. We had so much fun. Yeah. But I noticed yesterday, wow, I didn't think about drinking once while golfing. And I don't know, that just used to happen, and now it's not happening, so.
Yeah, that's a nice example of the obsession to drink being removed and you not even realizing it until you realize it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Maybe that's it. And then
golfing's such especially when you're like golfing with the boys and stuff like that. It's such a drinking culture that's been established.
And then I talked to, I could probably say his first name.
No, just make it up. Make up all the names.
Sandbox.
Yeah. I like to make up all the names.
Because I was having girl problems and I shared about it at a meeting recently, and then a bunch of dudes came up to me, and I'm very surprised when people come up to me at meetings, because after I share, I'm like, well, I can't believe any of that got across.
Yeah, I usually forget what I shared.
Yeah,
I'm like,
but it's about girl stuff, and like 4 or 5 guys came up to me, and this one guy, Sandbox, just said, I got to call you. And then I finally called him back today, and we talked for like 20 minutes, and it was good.
That's awesome,
It was good. Just alcoholic calling another alcoholic. And now we're here.
Hey.
How about you? What'd you do to...
I prayed today. I came back from New York.
That's right.
And I had a really fun trip, a nice little break from work, because the last episode, you kind of hear how exhausted we both were.
Yeah, I think we're both better.
I think we're both a little better. Went to see a bunch of comedy, see a bunch of 2 Broadway shows.
2 Broadway shows.
Ooh, but the important thing was
Drew's rich now.
No. Yeah.
The
all my money is in crypto now. It's all gone.
That's crazy.
No, I'm super broke now after our New York trip. 3 days is good. 4 days gets kind of pricey. But I was able to stay sober. I went to one meeting over there. It was busy.
Yeah.
Usually I go to more meetings because Jess is doing her own thing, but we kind of stayed together. Anyways, that's the beauty about Alcoholics Anonymous, is that there are meetings all over the country.
The world.
All over the world, yeah.
Vietnam.
Yeah. I'm sure there could be one in Antarctica.
The moon eventually.
Yeah. Forest Moon of Endor. Those Ewoks be knocking it back. They're tribal.
What's that bar called? The Tatooine bar?
Yeah. Mos Eisley Tavern.
Yeah, Mos Eisley, yeah.
Anyways, cool. I went to this meeting near the Brooklyn Bridge on Henry Street, if you must know. 125 Henry Street. And
shout out.
The basement of a Lutheran church, all wood. It's called the Sunrise Service. I've been there before.
Yeah.
At 7:30, and the coolest thing happens, and it happens sometimes. I've done this a couple times, where I connected with some guys there, and they asked me for coffee, and I got to have coffee with random strangers while I'm on vacation. Nice. And we had a great conversation.
That's what
I dropped this podcast. I was like,
good.
There's no way to confidently be like, I have a sober podcast, but they heard me share, and I talked about actual real shit first to qualify before I mentioned this thing.
But we're not trying to. It doesn't feel like we're trying to like force anything with this podcast.
No.
I feel like we're just having. It's fun.
Yeah, we don't. I think it's good, and we'll eventually talk about like traditions and shit like that. But I think it's best for us not to advertise this thing inside the meetings, because the meetings themselves are kind of like
if it's like talking
sacred.
After meetings, so I heard you have a podcast.
That's different.
I'll let you know, man. Yesterday I was at the 8 o'clock at Eastside Church,
nice.
And after. This guy,
East Atlanta, represent.
Raul.
Oh, Raul.
Yeah, you know Raul.
Yeah, I think I do.
He recently came back in the rooms.
Oh, nice.
He did a bunch of cocaine in Las Vegas.
Oh.
So I don't know if you know who that is, but you can think about it.
Pretty fit guy?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But he was talking about, like, I appreciate during your shares, for me, that you don't, like, try to work bits into your shares. Because he knows I do comedy. And it's like, he says some people do that. It's like, yeah, I do try. I don't try to be funny, but sometimes it happens.
You're pretty naturally funny, but yeah, it's best to be as simple and to the point as possible.
Oh, man. But I did.
when people try to work bits in their shares, you can definitely tell there's comedians that are in the rooms.
I did No Expectations on Friday, and I fucking crushed. It was so fun. I didn't even mean to, but it was just like on a roll of like this, that, just like.
That's a tough room to crush too. That's a tough room usually.
That makes you feel good. That's not the point of sharing, but it is fun when everyone's laughing. That's kind of, a lot of people mention like, oh, the laughter. Yeah. I came in these rooms, everyone's laughing about running over people with their cars when they were drunk. How can you laugh about that? But you can.
Yeah, because we've together found this alternative way of life, an actual way of living. We've talked about it before, but that's why we get to joke about shit and kind of joke about old-timey wording here, and we're gonna get into we agnostics.
Ooh, the problem. Oh my gosh,
boy, we're gonna talk about God, baby. We're talking about God, baby.
I like that song.
Yeah,
do a little more.
We're talking about all the good things and maybe some bad things about God, baby. We're talking about God.
It's little Bee Gees at the end.
Oh yeah,
little Bee Gees.
I got embarrassed. So
that's okay. That happens. It's hard. It's hard not to get embarrassed when you're singing a little song.
Okay.
Show those people.
K. Let's move on.
There's no K on that sign.
It says K. Let's move on.
If you're just listening, tough shit. Yeah, but I do have something topical to relate to we agnostics.
You better apply it.
Maybe we'll get in. Maybe it'll come up, or should I just say it now?
Say it now.
I was talking. There is a comic in Atlanta. He recently went to treatment for like opiates or whatever, and he was talking to me about. We were going back and forth on Instagram DMs. And he was talking about like his
hot DM.
He had this is what I shared about on Friday. He had a problem with the God thing. Go figure. Someone has a problem with the God thing.
Some people has a problem with the God thing. That's crazy.
Some people has that problem.
Y'all listen to my sarcasm right now because that's not
almost.
That's a very common problem.
It's either a huge problem or just someone. It doesn't even have a conception of a higher power.
Yeah, we'll get into our own personal like experiences with this step 2 and 3 when we get into the we agnostics.
Today mine's a salamander, and but he was just talking about like AA doesn't like that, and he's talking about like powerlessness
that keeps him away from meetings.
Yeah, and then he was saying something about like he had relapsed a little bit, and in his head he's like, oh, I'm going to push this, I'm going to take this as far as it goes, but then I gathered myself and I stopped. And I was like, I can't do that. I can't do that. Me and him are having entirely different experiences of drug addiction and alcoholism. I just can't.
I might stop one day.
Yeah.
But it picks right back up.
It's not like in the moment. In the moment, once I've started, that's even worse.
Oh, yeah. For me, if I get going and I start, there's no stopping.
Yeah.
It's a fucking Pringles machine over here.
But I was just throwing a bunch of AA stuff at him because that's just what I'm in, and it's what I know now.
Yeah. And
he just doesn't vibe with the like powerless over alcohol thing, powerlessness. It sounded a lot like he's coming from a place of self-will.
Okay.
And guess what? That shit runs riot.
I've heard of that. That running riot in this here book.
Yeah. And now we're going to get into it.
We're going to get into, well, I do like this chapter because we are going to talk about, that's a good introduction actually, because that's a good example of why it is difficult, because this program is asking you to trust something that you cannot see, trusting something that you probably will never see unless you take, microdose, and we don't suggest that.
And Bill did. Bill took acid.
He did, but we'll talk about that later on. But it's a big ask. So on the surface that's what it looks like, but basically we'll get into is just asking you to relinquish all the responsibility in terms of solving your drug problems and other life problems.
I think what I said before, my old sponsor, he was atheist, but he would say like, for me, it's just recognizing that I'm not it. I'm not the one in control.
Yeah, and you can call it whatever you want. You can be atheist. Yeah. And I believe that's a faith. Yeah. But like you can be whatever you want as long as you're not you're not in trouble. My
friend did bring up the doorknob example.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think that's kind of dumb for me because I'm past that. I'm way past the idea of like I'm gonna make this arm of holding this microphone my higher power today.
The point so what you referred to is like in the meetings, a lot of people are like, your higher power can be your own conception. It could even be a doorknob. Yeah. And that's like, you hear that a lot, and newcomers would like roll their eyes. Yeah. I know I did.
Yeah.
But it is just an example of just know that it's not you, and force your energy towards something that isn't you.
Yeah.
There's
I was in, and as I was like messaging him all this stuff, like a lot of AA stuff, because a lot of this stuff has been beaten into my head now, and it just before I used to not know platitudes and all that, but I was as I was typing, I was thinking, oh man, maybe I am a little brainwashed, but
you just gotta tell him, a horse ain't nothing but
a horse ain't nothing but shorts on. A horse ain't nothing
but a horse with two shorts on.
Yeah. But in a meeting once, I shared about like something about cults or something, and then some guy shared after me, and he said, "Yeah, I'd rather be in the cult that drinks coffee instead of the one that drinks Kool-Aid."
Yeah,
which is kind of poking fun at AA. Can be a little culty at times, I guess, but
yeah. But you can leave, and it's a cult that saved my life. So
yes,
I'll be cool with it. It's a pretty chill cult.
Yeah. Okay.
In terms of the spectrums of cults.
Let's get into it.
Let's get up on into chapter 4. We Agnostics.
Only took 16 minutes.
And Agnostic. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's all right.
We'll start. I'll start this time.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. We're dating this thing, baby. It's in the first Sunday of May. First Sunday, second Sunday? May. We Agnostics. That just means without knowledge. Let's get into the book. In the preceding chapters, you have learned something of alcoholism. We hope we have made clear the distinction between the alcoholic and the non-alcoholic. If, when you honestly want to, you find you cannot entirely, or if when drinking you have little control over the amount you take, you are probably alcoholic. So yeah, we've discussed that ad infinitum.
Oh, we did. We really did.
If that be the case, you may be suffering from an illness which only a spiritual experience will conquer. This is just saying, get your mind right. Get your mind changed.
Like a diaper.
To one who feels he is an atheist or agnostic, such an experience seems impossible. But to continue as he is means disaster, especially if he is an alcoholic of the hopeless variety. To be doomed to an alcoholic death or to live on a spiritual basis are not always easy alternatives to face. So that's choice 1, to be doomed to an alcoholic death, and then choice 2, to live on a spiritual basis.
A slow, painful alcoholic death.
Yeah, or like fast in a car crash. You never know. But usually slow and painful.
There's one more, and this really made everyone laugh at the meeting because
okay, let's hear the joke.
Because I shared something about like I was on the road to slow, painful alcoholic death, a very unfun death, and I want a fun death in AA or something like that.
Oh, tee.
And everyone laughed because I said fun death.
What a juxtaposition, Taylor! I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it really burned the house down.
I'm sure it did.
I got the gold star.
Yeah,
The no expectations gold star.
Yeah, people don't realize this, but in AA meetings, the best chair gets a gold star, and you get to wear it proudly.
The goal of AA is be a good sharer.
Yeah, be a good sharer so your ego goes crazy, and then you can share your ego with everybody else.
And then you can be one of those guys that relapses but still goes to meetings and just shares. We went to a speaker. I told you about this already. The baseball player that spoke, and he was clearly fucked up. It was wild.
Yeah. We won't say his name, but he used to steal a lot of bases for the Atlanta Braves. That is weird. All right, back to the book. But it isn't so we're talking about, it seems difficult. But it isn't so difficult. About half our original fellowship were of exactly that type, atheist or agnostic. At first, some of us tried to avoid the issue, hoping against hope we were not true alcoholics. But after a while, we had to face the fact that we must find a spiritual basis of life, or else. Perhaps it is going to be that way with you, but cheer up. Something like half of us thought we were atheist or agnostic. For experience shows that you need not be disconcerted. If a mere code of morals or a better philosophy of life were sufficient to overcome alcoholism, many of us would have recovered long ago. But we find that such codes and philosophies did not save us, no matter how much we tried. We wish we could be moral. We could wish to be philosophically comforted. In fact, we could will these things with all our might. But the needed power wasn't there. Our human resources, as marshaled by the will, were not sufficient. They failed utterly. So it's exactly what we're talking about. Self-will, even if it runs riot, is not going to run correctly.
No. That's what I talked about with my friend Alex on the golf course today. I was talking to her about being sober because I just told her I prayed in the morning and joking. She said, "Oh, why would you share that with me?" And then we were driving the golf cart for a second.
She's not in the program?
No.
Okay.
And then, but then I was like, I shared it with you because she said it jokingly, but I was like, I shared it with you because I'm not ashamed of it.
Yeah.
It keeps me sober. It's like beyond human aid. Like I was like, you can't keep me sober.
Yeah.
I can't keep me sober. Nothing in this world has seemed to be able to keep me sober. The only thing that has been able to keep me sober is a faith in a power greater than myself.
Yeah.
Sorry, my eyes got itchy during
It's okay.
that.
You've been outside. You've had a big day.
God's in my eyes. Get
out of my eyes
Get
and
out.
into my... Get out of my eyes
and
into my soul. All right, I want to continue to read this important part, and I'll pass it on to you. This is shared a bunch in meetings, a bunch amongst sponsors and sponsees. This is a really important part. This is page 45 in the middle. The first row of paragraph, page 45. Here we go. Lack of power. That was our dilemma. We had to find the power by which we could live, and it had to be a power greater than ourselves. Italics, cha-ching. Obviously. But where and how are we to find this power?
It's a big giant machine.
Anytime it's in italics, they're going to be like, cha-ching!
What we talked about last episode? Yeah. It was like I forget what we even said about it. It was so funny.
You have to put in quarters to change it. Yeah, at the printing press. Ooh. Gosh, this is a really important 2 paragraphs. Okay. We got to really focus up. We got to really focus up. So they're asking, how do we find this power? Okay. And then Bill says, well, that's exactly what this book is about. That's the point.
Yeah.
Its main object is to enable you to find a power greater than yourself, which would solve your problem. That means we have written a book which we believe to be spiritual as well as moral. And it means, of course, that we're going to talk about God. Psych, we got you, bitches. You're trapped in here with us. Here, difficulty arises with agnostics. Many times we talk to a new man and watch his hope rise as we discuss his alcoholic problem and explain our fellowship. You come into new meetings, you see very nice people. They're supportive of you. They're glad that you're there. They're glad that they can be of help.
They're sober.
They have
nice cars.
Yeah, they have nice cars. They have,
nice clothes. They don't look like drunks.
They all have canes, and they're all like watching like this.
With rat skulls.
They play polo on the weekends.
Yeah.
We're
all rich, famous, successful people.
Yeah. And they are iced out of their minds. Yeah. And they're like, this seems pretty good.
Yeah. There's a circle. There's a seance. There's a pentagram in the middle.
Mm-hmm. The goat comes back to life.
That AA goat. Same one since the beginning.
Yeah. It's got a build up spirit in it.
And the goat is just like, I just want to die, please.
We got to quit revealing all these cult stuff.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
None of that was true. That was a bit. Our point was...
Maybe the biggest bit ever.
That was really bad. In terms of like focus. Yes. I had fun.
Wow, we said we were going to focus. Then.
Yeah. The point is, newcomers come in and they see a glimmer of light. Back to the book. But his face falls when we speak of spiritual matters, especially when we mention God. For we have reopened a subject which our man thought that he had neatly evaded or entirely ignored. We know how he feels. We have shared his honest doubt and prejudice. We can't see anything. Why we were praying to something we can't see, basically. Some of us have been violently anti-religious. To others, the word God brought up a particular idea of him with which someone had tried to impress them during childhood. Perhaps we rejected this particular conception because it seemed inadequate. With that rejection, we imagined we had abandoned the God idea entirely. We were bothered with the thought that faith and dependence upon a power beyond ourselves was somewhat weak, even cowardly. Why can't I just figure it out myself? We looked upon this world of warring individuals, warring theological systems, and inexplicable calamity with deep skepticism. We looked askance at many individuals who claimed to be godly. How could a supreme being have anything to do with it all? I know I felt that way. There's so much chaos in this world. There's so much suffering. There's so much starving children. There's, death and guns and all that shit.
God hasn't gotten to that stuff yet. God is only
I'm
one
just putting you in the idea of like what they're saying. And who could comprehend a supreme being anyhow? Yet, in other moments, we found ourselves thinking, when enchanted by starlit night, who made all this? There was a feeling of awe and wonder, but it was fleeting and soon lost. Yeah, so that's definitely some worrying ideas of like, there's so much suffering in the world, there can't be a God because there's so much suffering and randomness in the world, but there's so much connection and how things fit together, there has to be something that made them. Mm-hmm. I fit in the second tier, but I have felt that first tier before, and you can feel both of those things. Mm-hmm. That's okay.
I never really was in the camp of like, I was never like, there's
never
no
like
God.
A full atheist.
No, I just didn't. I got this when I was smoking weed in high school, and getting in trouble, and getting grounded or whatever.
Getting into trouble.
You get into it was just bits, Mom and Dad. It was just a bit. I was just smoking. But I got this book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Okay.
Because I was like, maybe this will stop me from smoking pot.
I read The Secret.
Yeah. Same thing.
No, not really.
Book. It's just The German Secret.
Yeah.
And so I think I've always felt like there's something more than this physical world, but I never felt
that sure would be cool.
I didn't like the Christian God. I just didn't really care about that.
Yeah. Old Testament God seems kind of like a pissy badass type of dude. Mm-hmm. Then he had a kid. And then he just kind of became a dad and like realized like, oh shit, human beings have feelings.
Yeah.
I liked his kid, but I personally don't think that he's also God.
Yeah.
But I liked what his kid said. So Christian God's fine, but it wasn't sufficient enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree with that. I had a moment in my dark days, in my hot topic listening to 9 Inch Nails days, where I was, a proud atheist and agnostic person. But in all seriousness, I'm agnostic about anything outside of what I can see. But I'm also a big believer in there's a greater power than myself.
Mm-hmm. I was just so wrapped up in myself. I didn't even consider thinking about something outside myself.
Yeah. And it's hard for me to share about God because I just don't know anything.
Yeah.
I just don't know anything. I know that praying and some form of meditation helps me. And the more I do that more consistently, the more connected to the world I feel. Spiritually fit, probably. Like, you can word it however you want, but it's so hard for me to share about that because I just don't know. And the beauty of that is that's okay.
Yeah. That is okay.
I don't think I really doubt that it's a swole white dude with a beard.
No,
just a grown daddy with a fireball.
Maybe it's just some alien that evolves before us and evolved to this point of such a level of consciousness. And maybe that's what it is.
So a Prometheus?
It's like Prometheus.
It's like a Prometheus that likes us.
Alien versus Predator.
You can be whatever.
Yeah.
That's the point. As soon as I dropped trying to figure it out, the easier everything else was.
Yeah. It's something.
It's definitely something. It's this.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah.
It's definitely in the meetings that we go to a bunch.
Sometimes it's the feeling I get yesterday when I'm on the golf course with multicolored beard.
Yeah.
And I'm just enjoying being out on the golf course.
It's my favorite pirate, by the way.
Yeah, multicolored
beard, the pirate.
Multicolored beard. He was a nice pirate.
Yeah.
He didn't pillage and the other thing, and
no, he just did inventory.
Yeah.
He's got experience.
He was like the accountant for the pirates. He's like, guys, just get stuff. Quit hurting people.
Yeah. My God is in when the light comes back onto a newcomer and they come in and they figure some shit out.
Like, let me see those eyes. God's in there.
I didn't mean for that to sound creepy, but like when the power comes back in.
Yeah.
And when you have like 60, 70 guys that are alcoholics that come together and are in support of and sit and listen to one dude tell a story. Mm-hmm. So that's where my shit lies.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very powerful thing to have a bunch of sober alcoholics, people who would not normally mingle.
A bunch of different personalities.
Get in a room, 90% of them not court ordered to be there.
Yeah.
Crazy. On their own accord.
Yeah.
Honda Accord. I'll pick it up.
Honda Accord.
The larger.
But yeah, we're going to get more
Honda
into the nitty gritty of what they're talking about.
Okay. We might need a bath. Here we go. Yes, we of agnostic temperament have had these thoughts and experiences. Let us make haste to reassure you. We found that as soon as we were able to lay aside prejudice and express even a willingness to believe in a power greater than ourselves, we commenced to get results, even though it was impossible for any of us to fully define or comprehend that power, which is God.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of exactly what we just said.
We could have skipped it all.
We could have just skipped that whole reading.
Honestly, we solved it. Goodbye.
Bye, and we're done.
Much to our relief, we discovered we did not need to consider another's conception of God. Our own conception, however inadequate.
Doorknob.
That's kind of what you were just talking about.
That was a little bit.
It's something, but you were saying you don't know, or whatever you're saying before.
I don't know it, but that's okay.
Yeah. Our own conception, however inadequate, was sufficient to make the approach and to effect a contact with him. As soon as we admitted the possible existence of a creative intelligence, a spirit of the universe underlying the totality of things, we began to be possessed of a new sense of power and direction. Provided we took other simple steps. Excuse me, so sorry.
It's okay. We're both fantastic readers.
We found that God does not make too hard terms with those who seek him. That's nice. I like that.
I like that too.
To us, the realm of spirit is broad, roomy, all-inclusive, never exclusive or forbidding to those who earnestly seek. It is open, we believe, to all men and women and people, everyone. They, them,
your dog,
everybody.
doorknob.
Yes.
Your dog.
Yes.
Group of drunks.
Yes.
Good orderly direction.
Bring your doorknob.
Vishnu,
Bring your dog.
The one with multiple arms.
Booter?
Booter. Fat Booter.
Yeah.
Mrs. Butterworth.
The snake from the Bible. That was also the devil.
Oh, yeah. That was, you had to be just a sexy ass queen. Just being like, eat that apple, girl.
Yeah. The sassy snake.
It's good.
You deserve it.
It's good.
Come on, it's a good apple. I can't.
God is a square.
If I could have eat the apple, I would have. I'm a snake.
Give me some.
Let me have a bite. Chew
I
it.
like that snake. I think the devil's cool.
Adam Snake kind of proves a good point.
Devil lives in the reality. God's like, he didn't even care about what's going on down there.
You listen to the snake?
Yeah, he has personality. He's very interesting.
God, you're kind of just like,
Anyways, I was placing these things on the broad highway.
Yeah. The broad highway of sobriety.
Yeah. And of spirituality and sobriety.
Yeah. One and the same.
Jewish God.
Yeah.
Moses.
Oh, yeah.
Muhammad.
Who else?
Oh, I didn't do anything. I didn't portray Muhammad at all.
No. We didn't.
Greek Orthodox God.
Yeah.
A river. Okay.
A little beetle.
Little beetle.
With a little
The
hat.
tick.
Yeah, like the show?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Got any gods?
You kind of did them all.
No, I didn't. They can be anything if I didn't do it.
Oh, those cannonball things from Mario.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The bullets from Mario. The big
Yeah.
giant bullets.
Ooh, yeah, those are powerful.
Yeah.
That's a power greater than me, that's for sure.
I did see a snake on the road yesterday.
Oh.
So maybe that was the devil. I didn't run it over. It was right in my truck's wheel line, and I swerved and didn't run over the snake. So you're welcome, devil. I didn't run you over.
All right, let's get back to the book.
When, therefore, we speak to you of God, we mean your own conception of God. This applies, too, to other spiritual expressions which you find in this book. Do not let any prejudice you may have against spiritual terms deter you from honestly asking yourself what they mean to you. At the start, this was all we needed to commence spiritual growth, to effect our first conscious relation with God as we understand Him. Afterward, we found ourselves accepting many things which then seemed entirely out of reach. That was growth. But if we wished to grow, we had to begin somewhere. So we used our own conception, however limited it was.
My sponsor always said, well, if you don't believe, do you believe that I believe?
Yeah.
You can't deny that.
Yeah.
Sponsor's doing pretty good, and he seems to believe. Yeah.
The willingness to believe.
Yeah.
The willingness to be willing.
Yeah.
Willingness to be willing to believe.
Yeah, the willing, you can keep compounding it too if you're having really some big troubles.
I got the willies about being willingness
to be willingness to be willingness to be willing.
Yeah.
To believe.
Willingness to be willing to be willing to
Yeah.
be willing. And but you got to do it eventually, I guess.
Yeah, if you stick in it, it's gonna be miserable if you keep fighting that shit.
Yeah. We needed to ask ourselves but one short question. Short, not tall. Do I now believe, or am I even willing to believe, that there is a power greater than myself?
That's step 2.
As soon as a man can say that he does believe or is willing to believe, we emphatically assure him that he is on his way. It has been repeatedly proven among us that upon this simple cornerstone, a wonderfully effective spiritual structure can be built.
Oh, shit. Do you see that asterisk?
Ding,
ding, ding, ding,
I gotta go down to the
ding.
bottom of the page. Please be sure to read Appendix 2 on spiritual experience.
That's at 567.
Did we read that yet?
I don't think so.
Damn,
have we?
Maybe.
Maybe we have.
Let's do it again.
Did we do that?
I don't know. I feel like it was on here before.
I feel like we have.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to blast through it. We're not going to read all of the spiritual experiences, but we are going to read the last. I'm going to read the last little bit at 568, starting with most of us think. Okay, so most of us think this awareness of a power greater than ourselves is the essence of spiritual experience. Our more religious members call it God consciousness. Most emphatically, we wish to say that any alcoholic capable of honestly facing his problems in the light of our experience can recover, provided he does not close his mind to all spiritual concepts. He can only be defeated by an attitude of intolerance or belligerent denial. Mm-hmm. I'll repeat that. He can only be defeated by an attitude of intolerance or belligerent denial. We find that no one need have difficulty with the spirituality of the program. Willingness, honesty, and open-mindedness are the essentials of recovery, but these are indispensable. So when I have a new sponsee, I tell them to write how, and H stands for honesty, O stands for open-mindedness, and then W stands for willingness. Yeah. So that's exactly what that is. It's just easier in an acronym. Willingness, honesty, open-mindedness. And then finally is a quote by Herbert Spencer saying, There is a principle which is a bar against all information, which is proof against all arguments, and which cannot fail to keep a man in everlasting ignorance. That principle is contempt prior to investigation. Mm-hmm. So if you're having a hard time, it doesn't hurt to at least try it. And if you're still having a hard time, then maybe it's not for you.
But this openness to a spiritual experience, this openness to a God, I feel like that then allows me to be open to so many different things in life.
Yeah.
Like it allows me to be open to fully experiencing any number of things in my life. Like even if I'm out golfing with a friend, it allows me to like take in the world around me. Like, oh, this is great. I'm sober and I'm out golfing, but nature's beautiful. It helps me have better relationships with everyone. It helps me like feel the whole relationship. It helps
you problem solve because you're like, okay, maybe this is not how my day was supposed to go.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm learning and I'm growing from different problems today.
It opens my mind to just see other perspectives. Yeah. It allows me to think more clearly, I guess.
And all this chapter is asking you to do, there's another metaphor of just a cracked door. Just crack that door. If the door is cracked, it's going to be a lot easier to open than if the door is locked. Mm-hmm. Something like that. I don't know. I've heard that before somewhere.
That's a good one.
A window too. Whatever it opens, it's easier if it's cracked than to get a fucking key out and unlock it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's no deadbolt.
Leave your deadbolts check your deadbolts at the door.
Leave your doors unlocked.
Leave your doors unlocked. That's the name of the game, especially if you live in a city.
Yeah. You'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
No one expects a door to be unlocked.
I'll get them.
Like, this was unlocked. No, it's not worth it.
It's just asking you to the open-mindedness is not just like, okay, accept everything all the time. No, some weird shit happens. You can still question. You can still figure it out for yourself and see what works best for you. But we're just asking you to be like, maybe not you.
Yeah.
That was the crack of the door. Maybe it's not you.
Yeah. If you listen closely. I'll read a tiny bit more.
Okay.
Then it's Drew's turn.
Then it's my turn.
That was great news for us, for we had assumed we could not make use of spiritual principles unless we accepted many things on faith which seemed difficult to believe. When people presented us with spiritual approaches, how frequently did we all say, I wish I had what that man has.
Yeah.
I'm sure it would work if I could only believe as he believes, but I cannot accept as surely true the many articles of faith which are so plain to him. So it was comforting to learn that we could commence at a simpler level. Yeah. Besides a seeming inability to set... Besides a seeming... Reading!
Besides a seeming... that's weird. I'll pick it up.
Drew's turn.
Besides a seeming inability to accept much on faith...
You got jumbled up too.
I know, me too. We often found ourselves handicapped by sensitiveness and unreasoning prejudice. Yeah, that's on Bill trying to trip us up with that sentence.
Bill.
Many of us have been so touchy that even casual reference to spiritual things made us bristle with antagonism. Ooh. No, I don't want that. I remember when I was struggling with the program, I was like, away with ye.
That's what you said. That.
Yeah, in that voice. No. Okay, I'll continue. Though some of us resisted, we found no great difficulty in casting aside such feelings. Faced with alcoholic destruction, we soon became as open-minded on spiritual matters as we had tried to be in other questions. In this respect, alcohol was a great persuader. It finally beat us into a state of reasonableness. So that gets shared a lot. Desperate enough to do the stats, but beaten into a state of reasonableness. Yes. Your bottom is so low that you're like, fine. Yeah. You get a good case of the fuck it's. Fuck it. I'll do it. Yeah. Back to the book. Sometimes this was a tedious process. We hope no one else will be prejudiced for as long as some of us were. The reader may still ask why he should believe in a power greater than themselves. We think there are good reasons. Let us have a look at them now. That's not now as in the book, but I feel like it should be. The practical individual of today is a stickler for the facts and results. Nevertheless, the 20th century and the 21st century.
That's where we are.
That's where we are. Readily accepts theories of all kinds, provided that they are firmly grounded in fact. We have numerous theories, for example, about electricity. Everybody believes them without a murmur of doubt. Why is this ready acceptance? Simply because it is impossible to explain what we see, feel, direct, and use without a reasonable assumption as a starting point. Electricity works because of science things.
It's in the walls.
It's in the walls.
Come on.
Yeah, filaments and Edison.
When did they start putting electricity in walls? We don't have time to go into that.
20s and 30s.
But the first light, was it just plugged in? Hey, wait, didn't have outlets. How did
ring, Alexander Graham Bell, can you connect me to Thomas Edison?
Yeah. They didn't have phones.
Thomas Edison was a big-ass failure until he wasn't. I don't know. No, that's why I said Alexander Graham Bell. Ring,
yeah.
Hook me up to Thomas
one
Edison.
Of them steal from the other one?
No, Edison, I think, stole from Tesla.
Oh.
And that's it's cool to like Tesla.
Yeah.
It's a car and everything. Anyways, electricity works and we all accept that. That's what it's saying. And I'll continue. Everybody nowadays believes in scores of assumptions for which there's good evidence, but no perfect visual proof. And does not science demonstrate that visual proof is the weakest proof? It is being constantly revealed as mankind studies the material world that outward appearances are not inward reality at all. To illustrate, the prosaic steel grinder is a mass of electrons.
Girder.
Oh, it is. Sorry. I'm in the coffee business, so I just see G's and R's, and I immediately get a grinder. The prosaic steel girder is a mass of electrons whirling around each other at an incredible speed. These tiny bodies are governed by precise laws, and these laws hold true throughout the material world. Science tells us so. We have no reason to doubt it. When, however, the perfectly logical assumption is suggested that underneath the material world and life as we see it, there are all-powerful, guiding, creative intelligence. Right there, our perverse streak comes to a surface, and we laboriously set out to convince ourselves it isn't so. We read wordy books and indulge in windy arguments, thinking we believe this universe needs no God to explain it. We are contingents. Were our contingents true, it would follow that life originated out of nothing, means nothing, and proceeds nowhere. Maybe. Mm-hmm. I'm still I agree that there might, I lean towards more kind of, like they said, guiding creative intelligence. That makes sense.
Here's what I was remembering while you were reading that. There's a video on YouTube last night that I watched of the Ingenuity rover on Mars.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just moving so slow just across Mars.
Yeah.
That rover must be so lonely up there. It made me think AI.
It sings songs.
Yeah. And it does. Yeah. It's jamming out to Led Zeppelin. And then I thought about man, what if I was on Mars? For some reason, I'm on Mars. I'm the only one there.
You're Dr. Manhattan.
And just that feeling of, and that's very, it made me think of a feeling when you're in a mountain and it's really quiet, or like
in a cave and it's really dark.
Yeah, but like that feeling of I don't know what the feeling is, and I don't know how this relates to what we're saying, but you made me think of it.
Just being alone.
Yeah, but a
crippling sadness of being alone.
It wasn't sad. It was like there's like a beauty to. I was like, wow, Mars is really pretty, and that poor rover's all alone.
I wish that rover had another robot to share his experiences
We need to send a friend robot to Mars.
Dear NASA,
Yeah.
I believe that we should send a friend robot to the rover in Mars.
Written in crayon.
Yeah.
So all I have to say, the point is, you get whatever you want out of that. But for some reason, that made me think of that. But it's like being on Mars alone. It was like comforting and sad at the same time.
Yeah, bittersweet.
Because what if there's a time in the future where we can go to Mars just one person at a time? Well, you're there.
Gotta be one.
And you're just like, you're there. There's not enough room on the one-person launcher. And you're there, and you're just like, it's like, you're like, I can go back to Earth anytime.
I'm trying to like tie this back into the reading.
I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I know.
But it reminded me of that. It's a specific feeling. Okay, do you know what I'm trying to say?
There's an emptiness, an ennui.
Have you ever been
a beautiful ennui?
Yeah. Mise en place. Like, have you ever been in the mountains?
Yeah.
And like you're standing there, maybe you're by yourself, maybe with one other person, but like it's really quiet.
Okay.
But it's also comforting because like, wow, this is beautiful. Maybe that's the feeling I would get on Mars if I was there right now.
I gotcha.
By myself.
Does a God exist if no one is there to pray to it? I don't know.
That's what we're trying to say.
I don't know.
But God can still be with me as I'm on Mars.
Yeah.
So that didn't make any sense.
I've tried.
We tried.
It sounds like it's a nice thing. Yeah. I'm feeling for the Mars rover now. You got me. We personified him.
It's really moving slow.
Yeah.
Go watch the movie WALL-E. You'll get it.
He needs an Eva.
Yeah.
All right. Welp. Science. This is just being like science and spirituality can work in tandem.
Yeah.
That's how my spirituality works. I think it supports science. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bugs are real.
Bugs are like the realest.
So here's what we gotta do.
And if you're doubting that, then
have you seen a bug?
Get the microchip out of your brain, Bill Gates.
Man. Oh.
What are we on?
47 minutes.
Okay, we should probably read a couple more paragraphs and
yes.
Cut it out.
Yes.
Cut it out.
Cut it out. Come check this kid out. Remember Disney Channel? Okay.
I remember bug juice in Disney Channel.
I drank bug juice. My
right,
mom would get it at the gas station.
We gotta go.
No, we don't. I'm still sad about the Mars rover.
Are we done?
No,
Are we done? Is that...
Here we go. Okay. Instead of regarding ourselves as intelligent agents, spearheads of God's...
I consider myself an intelligent ant.
Man, if we was just ants...
Remember Woody Allen's Ants? Oh, man. We're off the rails.
The movie Ants?
Yeah.
I did see that. Didn't they swear and stuff in that and like have sex?
No, Woody Allen was just being like, why are these ants so old? I need them to be younger.
Is that what he said?
No. Gosh, man, we got to cut that part out.
Ants. But Ants was just like adult bug life.
Yeah.
Because they swore.
Yeah.
And it just,
I hate being a fucking ant. I can't deal with it. It's too stressful.
Woody Allen, just stop being an ant.
I can't. I've been born that way.
Get out of the movie. Woody Allen, you're just doing voiceover for the movie.
Do you think my step aunt thought it was cute?
Oh, my goodness. Controversy noted, I guess. Instead of regarding ourselves as intelligent agents, spearheads of God's ever-advancing creation, we agnostics and atheists chose to believe that our human intelligence was the last word, the alpha and the omega, the beginning and end of all. Rather vain of us, wasn't it?
Ooh, yeah, I agree.
Bill is sassy in this paragraph.
Rather vain, weren't you? You are not God. That's what he's saying. Those are the claps.
Yes, clap emojis.
Yeah.
We who have traveled this dubious path beg you to lay aside prejudice, even against organized religion. We have learned that whatever the human frailties of various faiths may be, those faiths have given purpose and direction to millions. People of faith have a logical idea of what life is all about. Actually, we used to have no reasonable conception whatever. That's kind of what I was saying when I was younger. I just didn't have a conception.
Yeah.
We used to amuse ourselves by cynically dissecting spiritual beliefs and practices when we might have observed that many spiritually minded persons of all races, colors, and creeds were demonstrating a degree of stability, happiness, and usefulness, which we should have sought ourselves.
Yeah, you look really miserable feeling high and mightier than everybody else trying to find their spirituality.
Yeah, the stability thing is nice. That's what I felt a lot lately is like for me lately, there seems to be a stability in having this faith in God. I feel a lot more even-keeled.
Well, 50 is an easy number to remember.
Yeah.
So maybe we just hop right off and hop right back onto 50. How's that sound? We'll get back into examples of finding spirituality, what it can do for us in the program. It's always a good thing to fall back on. Sorry for the Woody Allen jokes. We're gonna have to maybe cut that out.
Woody Allen.
I mean, he sent that to me, and I'll try to cut it out, and we'll figure it out.
Sometimes, the riffs do themselves. Sometimes Woody Allen needs to be an ant, and that's just the way the podcast crumbles.
Yeah, that is some of the way the podcast crumbles.
Yeah,
we said some good things. We talked about Mars robots.
Yeah.
We tried
but
to tie it in.
But we're both still a little tired.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, can't blame nothing but a short with two shorts on. A horse with shorts on.
Ain't nothing but a horse with two shorts on.
What the heck?
What was that?
My computer got mad at us.
No. Stop it. Go away.
You're killing me.
All right. Well, for 11.
Yeah.
Goes to 11. We will go back
on 10. When we're doing 11.
Yeah, we'll pick it back up at page 50 and finish We Agnostics, and then we'll really get into some of that.
We're in double diggies,
steps.
Baby.
Oh, yeah.
Just wait, triple diggies? So far down, the road.
We'll be in like the Quran or something like that.
Whoa, man. We're just going to be reading books on this podcast.
It just doesn't matter. It just becomes a book podcast. We can't get this to go back down.
Well, we really covered it all today.
Sure did.
So that's it for me.
You know what? I think that's it for me, too.
Wow. I'm Taylor.
I'm Drew.
I'm still an alcoholic.
I'm still an alcoholic, too.
Don't forget it. Because if you do, I won't. Because I forgot it before.
Oh, yeah. And then we'll be in trouble.
Rough. No trouble for us today.
Y'all have a great
We're sober today.
time.
Have a good rest of your Mother's Day.
You're dating it so hard.
It's Mother's Day today.
Yeah. Have your great rest of May 14th.
Yeah. I mean... Honestly, what we're trying to say...
Honor your mother.
What we're trying to say is we hope you're doing okay.
Yeah.
We hope you're feeling good. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that will make you feel good is think about that Mars rover.
Yeah.
He's so alone. Maybe we need to send a card to the Mars rover.
At least a petition to NASA.
Yeah. Petition to NASA. Okay.
Knock on NASA's door.
Job for the viewers. Please send pieces of paper to NASA saying rover needs company.
Yeah.
He's sad.
Yeah.
He's going so slow.
Yeah.
Maybe work a little faster if he had someone to work with.
He would have run into the Mars Society by then.
He
would have found the aliens by now.
The video was crazy. He was getting rocks stuck in his wheels, but the guy narrating said, "Don't worry, the rock will probably fall off of the wheel because it will be fine."
How does the guy narrating know?
It was an AI thing.
Oh.
Narrating. Okay. For all of us tonight, sober boys.
Have a good one.
Have a good evening, good night, and tomorrow.
And the next one.
Yeah.
All right, bye.